Paul Pelosi walks away with a slap on the wrist for his drunk driving charge. Fox News' Claudia Cowan in Sausalito, California, with more. Claudia.
Liz, newly released dashcam video clearly shows an intoxicated Paul Pelosi in the moments after he caused a two-car crash in Napa when he drove home drunk.
Best result possible.
The Barnes Firm. Injury attorneys call 1-800-8-million.
Hi, I'm Jane King, and this is New to the Street in person back here at the NASDAQ market site in New York City. This show is all about public, private blockchain companies, the CEOs, the founders, and the innovators, bringing you lots of opportunities to consider. Here we go. PetVivo is developing a disruptive tool to manage osteoarthritis in horses, cats, and dogs. And with me is the CEO, John Lai, to explain where you're at. I know you've had a lot of recent developments, including a lot of kind of executive appointments lately that has seemed to really kind of jump-started the company and done a lot. So bring me up to date.
Well, thank you. So the first thing is we signed a exclusive distribution agreement with MWI Animal Health. They're a wholly owned subsidiary of AmerisourceBergen, very large corporation. They do about $5 billion a year in veterinary sales in North America. And the agreement is not just for distribution. It actually has multiple components. One is the educational aspect to the veterinary doctors. They have a division called Siqueiros. So we'll be working on a whole series of educational videos and informational videos to the veterinary doctors on how to look at osteoarthritis differently than what they learned in veterinary school. Because in veterinary school, when they learn that you'd make a diagnosis of osteoarthritis, is that it's a lifetime of NSAIDs and other types of treatments that are targeted at more symptomatic issues, while our product is unique in the sense it's an intra-articular injection that treats the root cause of osteoarthritis, which is the bone-on-bone contact and wearing away. So once we get that message out there, it will really help drive the sales team. Internally, we had 4 salespeople, and they were all very seasoned, 25 plus years, managing hundreds of salespeople. And the intent is to convert them into manufacturer's rep, because MWI has 400 territorial managers and 300 in-house salespeople. So we'll be supporting and educating those people as part of training. So, and they do business with at least probably 90% of all the vets in the United States.
Yeah, that's a real game-changing partnership that you have with them.
Yeah, so it's a promotional, it's a true partnership. It's not just a distribution.
Yeah. So, and you started a nonprofit too.
Correct. It's called PetVivoCares.org. So it's targeted to donate product to nonprofits that are out there helping people and animals. So, you know, we've been contacted by some horse rescues that are used to help children with autism, because the studies have shown when they ride horses, they're actually able to communicate better and function much better in society. It makes them feel comfortable and so on. So I think that study was done at Utah State. So I think that's going to be one of our first donations. We set aside 500 syringes, and we're telling worthy nonprofits to submit their application and explain why and what they're doing to help people and animals, and then we'll be donating it out. And that also provides an opportunity for passionate people about animals to see the success of the product. And it also gives us access to volunteer veterinary doctors that we may not get to right away, but they'll be able to use the product and see the success and improvement of the animal. And so So we're excited about that program. I brought in a really good director to run it, Scott Harold. He's run a lot of nonprofits very successfully, and for fun, and he's donated a lot of money to a lot of good organizations.
Yeah. Well, let's do another interview after you get the results in October.
Sure.
That would be a great, update to everything. So
Yep.
thank you so much.
Perfect.
For coming back in.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have a question for you. Are you talking about your company, or are you being talked about? The internet is full of business owners that want your clients. So now imagine if the competition you have now becomes irrelevant. Imagine you didn't have to fight for clients because they are all coming to you. How would that change your business? This could be your reality, because that's what we do. We help you get the credibility that you deserve. My name is Rhonda Swan. I'm the founder and CEO of the Unstoppable Branding Agency. If you think you qualify to work with us, message me and apply today and click on the link in this video. I look forward to meeting you. Don't forget to be unstoppable and stay wild.
CoastalKapital focuses on equipment-based lending, lines of credit, and working capital. I founded my company based on the belief of partnerships. If we didn't have partnerships and trust and relationships, nothing would move forward. We really like to get to know the core of the client. We want to know who we're working with. We believe in a story, and that's why we call ourselves a story time lender. CoastalKapital is financing you can trust.
Secure, the true solution for your digital privacy and security. Secure is a private and secure messaging and email solution hosted in Switzerland, using proprietary military-grade encryption and Swiss privacy laws, giving you true privacy. Secure doesn't collect or sell your data and doesn't require your phone number or any personal data that hackers target. You can message and email non-secure users privately without the need for others to download Secure. Visit secure.com. Regain and protect your privacy today.
Micra is a biological wellness and consumer wellness company. And with me is the CEO, Faraz Jamal, to talk about Micra. And then the parent company is Lifeis, right? So we'll explain that corporate relationship a little bit, but let's start with Micra. And I mean, it was really interesting to read about it because you're working with wellness on the cellular level.
Yep.
So explain what you're doing.
Yeah, so I always say that Micra is a biological sciences company first and a consumer wellness company second. And how I explain that is essentially we work with the most bioactive compounds humanly possible, and then we pair it with our direct-to-cell technology, so we ensure that those bioactive compounds actually make it directly into your bloodstream and absorbed by your body.
Okay, so is this a pill that you take? Or?
No, we call it actually a nutraceutical gel.
Okay, so how does it work?
Yeah, so once you actually ingest what we call self, it goes through your body and it's absorbed in your jejunum, just slightly lower in your small intestine, directly by having your cells basically signaled and then allowing them to be absorbed directly.
So how do I absorb it? Do I drink it like a powder or what?
No, it's actually more like, think of it more as like a nut butter. So you just put it into your spoon or into your smoothie and just drink it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. And so now explain the science behind it. Like, what does it do? How does it help with wellness?
Yeah, so we feel that that health actually starts at a cellular level. So at the most microscopic level, that's where Micra's products are meant to actually impact your health. So I always describe your health as a still pond. And if you throw in like a really, really large rock, you start to see these reverberations just work out from where the rock hit in the pond. That's exactly how Self, Micra's first flagship product, works. So once you do take it, it creates a whole bunch of chain reactions at a cellular level that can have impacts on your brain, your cardio, as well as your skin and your digestive health. So we essentially wanted to create total body wellness just from the microscopic level.
During the pandemic, we became super aware of, vitamin D and all these kind of things. I mean, is that what you're seeing from a consumer point of view?
I'm seeing a very stressed out and confused consumer.
Because of the pandemic or just life in general?
I think that, honestly, it's actually funny. Yeah, the pandemic was, I think it exacerbated a lot of issues. People were already stressed out, and now they're super stressed out about what's happening at a microscopic level. All the items with the vaccines and the RNA and so forth, everybody's kind of diving deeper at their health, but there's no real solution yet to actually impact your cellular health in the best way. If you walk into any store right now, you're going to be assaulted with a bunch of different supplements, and they're generally all pills, right? They're all just pseudo. They're all essentially the same. They all have roughly the same ingredients and things like that, but nobody's actually innovating on the delivery system. A lot of products right now have that liposomal type coating, which ensures that it passes through your gastric environment, which is also something that we employ with our products. But once it gets through your gastric environment, there are not a lot of products out there that have the right biological delivery system so that you are actually absorbing your health. So the pandemic has, I think, increased the total addressable market for supplements, but it's made it more crowded and more confusing. It's funny, we ran a customer survey 6 or 7 months ago, and we just asked individuals what they thought of the health and wellness industry, and a whole bunch of questions related to that. And the number one thing that stuck with me from that survey was people said that it was hard to be healthy. So we have all of these choices out there and all this opportunity, but everybody is still finding it very, very difficult to actually be healthy. So that's what we're looking to solve. If you just had to take this one product per day and it takes 10 seconds, and then you start to feel those benefits really, really quickly, it almost makes it super simple.
And where can somebody find the products?
So right now it's primarily sold at wearemicro.com.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Well, thank you so much for coming to explain this.
Appreciate it.
Okay.
I have a question for you. Are you talking about your company, or are you being talked about? The internet is full of business owners that want your clients. So now imagine if the competition you have now becomes irrelevant. Imagine you didn't have to fight for clients because they are all coming to you. How would that change your business? This could be your reality, because that's what we do. We help you get the credibility that you deserve. My name is Rhonda Swan. I'm the founder and CEO of the Unstoppable Branding Agency. If you think you qualify to work with us, message me and apply today, and click on the link in this video. I look forward to meeting you. Don't forget to be unstoppable and stay wild.
CoastalKapital focuses on equipment-based lending, lines of credit, and working capital. I founded my company based on the belief of partnerships. If we didn't have partnerships and trust and relationships, nothing would move forward. We really like to get to know the core of the client. We want to know who we're working with. We believe in a story, and that's why we call ourselves a story time lender. CoastalKapital is financing you can trust.
Secure, the true solution for your digital privacy and security. Secure is a private and secure messaging and email solution hosted in Switzerland, using proprietary military-grade encryption and Swiss privacy laws, giving you true privacy. Secure doesn't collect or sell your data and doesn't require your phone number or any personal data that hackers target. You can message and email non-secure users privately without the need for others to download Secure. Visit secure.com. Regain and protect your privacy today.
Welcome to Unstoppable Women Entrepreneurs. I'm Jane King, with me co-host Rhonda Swan, and we've also got Livia Caudell with us today, who's the CEO of Integrity Payment Processing, one of the exclusive companies that services multi-billion-dollar high-risk industries. So this includes like nutraceuticals, online gaming, crypto, CBD, cannabis. So welcome, Livia. Great to have you here.
Great to be here.
Talk a little bit more about what you're doing, the high-risk industries. Why did you choose that?
Yeah. Well, so obviously, obviously in the payment processing industry, there's low risk, like, you know, the dentist or chiropractors, retail gas stations, restaurants. High risk is going to be more like online transactions and or just higher tickets, right? $2,500 all the way up to $10,000, some $25,000. So those are the higher risk spaces that I focus in. And I would say, you know, the difference between me and a lot of companies out there is, you know, they only have access to one or two banks, right? So when I'm boarding high-risk merchants, I'm not limited to just one or two banks. I have over 20 banks, both domestically and internationally. So for business owners that are high risk, it's very important that they have at least 3 to 5 different merchant accounts. Because it's one of those situations, and I can't tell you how many horror stories I've heard where these high-risk, you know, companies, they get set up on PayPal, PayPal shuts them down, their money gets held up. I mean, that's how we make our money in business, right, is by taking payments. So it's very, very crucial to know what you're doing and how to board these accounts, because high risk is just way more sensitive. The underwriters and the risk team, they need to know what your company does. The lines of communication have to really be there, and that's where I excel. And why my clients come to me, because I just know what I'm doing. You know what I mean? So I enjoy it. I find a lot of joy in doing what I do to help entrepreneurs.
I love it.
That can really add up. Libby, what would
can.
you say is the #1 industry that you're serving right now?
Cannabis. It's exploding, you know, and it's unfortunate because obviously they're trying to federally legalize cannabis, you know, and it didn't pass. But I think me and a lot of professionals in the cannabis space all agree that come the next election, hopefully we'll have, you know, legalization, which will make it more accessible for banking and payment services. But in the meantime, you know, that's obviously what gives me my opportunity to serve the cannabis industry. Is we have cannabis-friendly banking solutions, we have card payment solutions, and just really we custom tailor the solutions based on what the merchant's needs are. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, ladies.
Secure, the true solution for your digital privacy and security. Secure is a private and secure messaging and email solution hosted in Switzerland, using proprietary military-grade encryption and Swiss privacy laws, giving you true privacy. Secure doesn't collect or sell your data and doesn't require your phone number or any personal data that hackers target. You can message and email non-secure users privately without the need for others to download Secure. Visit secure.com. Regain and protect your privacy today.
Welcome to Unstoppable Women Entrepreneurs. I'm Jane King. With me is Rhonda Swan, the co-host, who is also a women entrepreneur, unstoppable too, by the way. And we've got with us Courtney Murray, the founder of CoastalKapital. The company specializes in funding commercial business finance in the U.S. and is now focused on helping women in business grow their businesses as well. So welcome, Courtney. Great to see you. And
good to have you.
Tell us about, why did you start CoastalKapital?
Well, thank you, Jane and Rhonda, both for having me here. I'm very thankful to be here with you today. CoastalKapital was actually founded on 2 failed entrepreneurships. I'm a 3-time entrepreneur, 3rd time successful. One of the things I found when I was an early entrepreneur is undercapitalization. And when you undercapitalize, you also start divvying into your personal credit. And when I started in equipment finance, I realized that there's another arm of finance that a lot of people are not educated on. And so I became very passionate very quickly. I knew I was an entrepreneur and I wanted to do things to change that. We're not brick and mortar all out there with commercial finance. We do asset-based lending, we do leases, we do everything from working capital to SBA loans. But I am big in heavy equipment space. So as you can imagine, I work with a lot of men, agriculture, construction, logging. nationwide. One of my passions is to help women, because one of the things I was undereducated, and I want to educate more women in the business to help them with their expansions and their building their empires.
So what's next for CoastalKapital?
Oh my gosh, there's so many things that are running through my mind right now, but really what's next is I want to open up, we have recently started funding our own transactions internal, just with personal money, because we've had, you know, success over the range of years. But what we really want to do is grow that personal box so we can start looking outside of the box, not asset-based lending. We want to look at some of the exposure, maybe even outside of the United States, and open up some, you know, lines for these women who want to create and get their name out there. Because right now, borders don't, you know, do us justice. We have a Facebook and Instagram and everything you could think of on social media. So we're looking to grow our business and our personal portfolio, and hopefully one day I have a lot of big plans. So
thank you so much, Courtney.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Unstoppable Woman Entrepreneur.
Thank you. CoastalKapital focuses on equipment-based lending, lines of credit, and working capital. I founded my company based on the belief of partnerships. If we didn't have partnerships and trust and relationships, nothing would move forward. We really like to get to know the core of the client. We want to know who we're working with. We believe in a story, and that's why we call ourselves a story time lender. CoastalKapital is financing you can trust.
Secure, the true solution for your digital privacy and security. Secure is a private and secure messaging and email solution hosted in Switzerland, using proprietary military-grade encryption and Swiss privacy laws, giving you true privacy. Secure doesn't collect or sell your data and doesn't require your phone number or any personal data that hackers target. You can message and email non-secure users privately without the need for others to download Secure. Visit secure.com. Regain and protect your privacy today.
Tonix Pharmaceuticals is researching and developing promising treatments for some diseases that have unmet needs, and this does include monkeypox, which has been getting a lot of attention lately. And with me is the CEO, Seth Letterman of Tonix Pharmaceuticals, and welcome, Seth. And the WHO just recently declared this a global emergency, the monkeypox, and you are working on developing a vaccine for this. So tell me, where does that stand?
First, thanks for having me on, Jane. It's great to see you again. Monkeypox is a big problem. There are over 17,000 cases outside of Africa, and this has all just started since May. Roughly, monkeypox looks like it's doubling each week outside of Africa. So it is a very big problem, and we're glad that the Secretary General of the WHO declared it a public health emergency of international significance.
And your company is working on a vaccine. So where in the approval of that vaccine does that stand?
Right. We've been working on a monkeypox vaccine for 10 years. So we were prepared for this. We think that monkeypox has been overlooked in Africa. Basically what happened is when everyone was being vaccinated for smallpox, monkeypox was kept out of the human population because smallpox and monkeypox are very similar.
Interesting.
So if you're vaccinated against smallpox, you're protected against monkeypox. When we stopped vaccinating people after the eradication of smallpox, an unforeseen consequence was that monkeypox would re-enter the population. So it's been a problem in Africa for several years that's been overlooked, but now it's spreading outside of Africa and growing very quickly.
Interesting.
Right now, it seems to be concentrated in MSM, men who have sex with men, and it's a astonishing concentration given that it's infectious and it's not a sexually transmitted disease. So we and many experts believe that unfortunately it will very likely get into the general population relatively soon.
Yeah. And of course, we've talked about COVID vaccines in the past as well, and the White House recently launched an effort to make these vaccines more durable. I mean, we've seen so many people who have been vaccinated and even boosted getting COVID. So, I mean, you have been working on this vaccine for, I think, ever since we first heard about COVID. Where does that stand with you?
Well, we're obviously disappointed that the vaccines are not performing better. We, like everyone else, hope that they would perform better. But we also never stopped our work, because right from the beginning, in conversations with you, we've warned that the vaccines did not have durable protection and they didn't block forward transmission. So we've been busily working on our vaccine, and we're delighted that the White House is now recognizing that we need probably something like another Operation Warp Speed to come up with new ideas and new technologies, because, for example, the President Biden's senior advisor in this said, we really need a breakthrough at this point. And by breakthrough, what he was referring to is we need new vaccine technologies that are fundamentally different. And Tonix has been working on a live virus vaccine that we believe provides more durable protection and has the potential to block forward transmission.
Yeah, and it seems like the COVID vaccines were successful in terms of, I think, of keeping people out of the hospital, or at least reducing those numbers, which was not insignificant, but something to really prevent the spread. I think would certainly be helpful.
But not insignificant, but also, unfortunately, the hospitalizations and deaths are rising with the new BA.5 strain. So even that amount of protection seems to be wearing out. But the COVID problem is affecting all aspects of our society. It's contributing to the supply chain disruptions. It's contributing to the delays at the airports, and generally a major drag on our economy.
Sure.
So we really have to get moving and get better vaccines discovered, developed, and deployed to get the economy really back up and to save lives.
It's been an unbelievable thing to live through. Okay, so you recently had a ribbon cutting ceremony for your Advanced Development Center. So this is in Massachusetts, correct? So explain what kind of work you'll be doing there.
This facility is purpose-built to manufacture clinical trial supplies of our live virus vaccines for monkeypox and for COVID. So it was a very complex facility, and we built it during the pandemic with all of the supply chain interruptions, and we completed it in just about a year. We had a very exciting ribbon cutting ceremony in June, and we're up and running, and this will really facilitate our work. In addition to the vaccines that we're working on, monkeypox and COVID, we're gearing up to be responsive to President Biden's AP3, which stands for American Pandemic Preparedness Plan, so that we believe we'll be able to make live virus vaccines to new pathogens within 100 days of identifying the sequence.
Wow. That's amazing. That would be great, because it does feel like more of these things are popping up for whatever reason. So to have kind of some of that work already in the pipeline could be huge. So thank you so much, Seth, for coming back. Always interesting.
Thank you for having me on, Jane.
America keeps turning to Kudlow. He's been beating the competition to become the king of business news. No one else has his experience. No one else does his kind of analysis.
And I'm not going to hold back.
Kudlow.
From Wall Street to your street.
Weekdays at 4.
Childhood cancer is a monster. I had no idea the magnitude of it, but when we arrived at St. Jude, they were able to give her therapy that specifically targeted those cancer cells. So Hazel is proof that the research that they are doing is working. St. Jude is life, and we are forever grateful.
This is a good.
Looking for
for a new Ford that's equipped exactly the way you want? Well, it's possible with Ken Grody Ford's custom order department. Design the Ford of your dreams. At #1 Ken Grody Ford, only a $100 deposit gets your vehicle ordered with 0 additional markups. We'll even put the final price in writing, so there's no surprises when your new Ford arrives. Ken Grody Ford.
Come experience the difference. I'll see you when you get here.
Visit Ken Grody Ford or online at KenGrodyFordSanDiego.com.
You may want to attend college,
but you have a full-time job and kids that need your full-time attention.
How can you possibly attend college?
You learn online at South University.
Earn your degree any hour, any day, from anywhere.
And the credit transfer policies also make it easier to return to college.
The convenience of taking classes where you want.
The flexibility of taking classes when you want.
So you can become who you want.
South University Online.
1-800-207-7590.
Moon Valley Nursery's massive tree